Hi, welcome into my studio. Very quick pastel video just to touch upon a subject people are asking me lots of questions about. They're having trouble sometimes layering lighter tones over darker tones, so over their underlayer. There's a few things that could be going on. Number one is possibly putting down too much underlayer, really filling up the tooth of the paper. And you'll see on lots of my videos when I put a layer down to start with for an underlayer, I really blend it thoroughly into the surface, whether I'm rubbing with my finger or I'm rubbing with a stump, something like that. But I'm really pushing the pastel into the surface. Paper, of course, is critical. You want something that's at least as textured as pastelmat paper. This is pastelmat paper that I'm using here. Obviously you can go more textured then with other types of papers such as UArt, Fisher, and there's a lot more as well. If you're having lots of trouble layering or getting detail on top, perhaps you are putting down too much on the pastelmat for first layers, and if you're still having trouble, try a rougher paper. So try a UArt fine grade like an 800, or try the Fisher paper. You may find that suits you better. But what I've done here, I've laid down some ever darker grey tones. I've just used a pencil to do it, and I've rubbed it right in, so you haven't got to watch me doing that. So I've gone from really light up to pretty dark. And I wanted to show you then an extreme example of what's happening. So let's say, for instance, you're doing a pet portrait, a dog portrait or something, and you've got a white chest area. Let's imagine that, or a white wolf. And you know that the underlayer is a bit darker because we want our white guard hairs or whatever to be showing through on top, okay, or our highlights. So you can see by putting down a layer underneath that's not too dark, I can get these to show up quite well, and they're nice and light. And if I block in with this carbothello pencil, you can see I can lighten that up quite well. And there doesn't appear to be much residue or anything on the surface. So if I'd gone a bit darker on the underdrawing, you can obviously see it more showing up light against dark, but that light there is not as light as I'm getting on this lighter underlayer. And progressively, if I go a bit darker, although it's looking up and, as I say, showing up more, I'm not getting a really white stroke on there. Okay, so my secret first tip would be, if you've got an area, say a chest area, and most of it is light in tone, make sure the undertone is light. Okay, we can overlay a light over a dark in pastel much more than we can with standard coloured pencils, but you can't take too much advantage of that process. Let me just colour in, and you can see how I can never get back to pure white, and the darker I go, the further I am from the pure white that I could have perhaps got if I was going straight onto the paper. Okay, so obviously a dark paper would be harder going over a very dark paper as well. That's why I generally use, you know, mid-tone papers. Okay, so that would be the major tip. So what do you do if you've got, say, a white wolf that's got a very light area on it? And then what I suggest, and you see it in my videos, I go into that light area with the light tone straight away. So if you've got a real vibrant, bright highlight area, you don't want anything dark underneath it. The reason being, you're going to contaminate the lighter area. A dark area underneath. So if I'd gone underneath like that, and then I wanted to come on top, it'll work better with this stick obviously than a pencil, but you will always get some form of contamination. So it's always going to be that little bit darker. So if, as I say, if you've got a very bright highlight area, go in with the lights first. Because what we can always do, don't forget, pastel is great for going light over dark, but we can also come back and go dark over light. So if we've got fur areas that's got, say, just a few dark sections in it, we can always come back with that and just lightly blend You don't always have to work light over dark. Now, what if you've done a drawing and you have gone too dark, but you know you need highlights, brighter highlights on there? There's a couple of things you can then do as well. You can come in with sticks or softer pastels. Now the sticks can be sharpened to a sharp edge with sandpaper, glass paper, and they're more punchy than a pencil. So I can use these to do fine lines. This is a Faber-Castell stick. Just like a pencil, but as I said, they're going to be that bit more punchy. Now the other thing you will probably see me do in my long videos on my Patreon channel, you'll see me actually twirling the pencil. And let me show you that in detail. Okay, so I've zoomed right in here. I've got the, you can see the name on the pencil there, just so you can see what I do. Because when I'm bringing the pencil down, I sharpened that a bit too much, but I'm twirling the end. You see I can get a really fine line, and it's nice and bright, because it's kind of acting like a snow plow. If you go in the same way all the time and you're not twirling the pencil, it's picking up contamination from the surface, and that's depositing on the tip of the pencil. When I'm twirling it, I'm pushing the contamination out of the way, and I'm actually depositing fresh pencil down on there. So I can get a nice light stroke. You can imagine me doing this for whiskers as well, even on a dark when I'm doing that. So it gives you a few options if you do go too dark. Use these softer ones, but you can see I'm never going to get that finer line. Twirl the pencil. And this becomes a habit. You'll see me do it all the time on my longer videos. Another option would be to seal the surface that you've put down as an underlayer. Now all of these sealants will actually change colour, some very slightly, some a heck of a lot. And the one I've found that I've shown in my videos that doesn't change it too much is Spectra Fix. Now I would use this really because I'm really quite particular with the colours of my finished drawing. I don't want them altering at all. I don't really use a fixative as a final sealant, but I would use this if I had a subject that was perhaps had a very extreme range of dark to lights, and I do it just after that initial blended in first layer, so my colours wouldn't be critical or anything at that point, but this will help to seal that down so I don't have the contamination on my lighter top layers. So hope that's cleared something up for you. As I said, just a very quick video, and I'll see you all again soon. If you're looking for even more great art sources, I've really got you covered. First off, I've got a Patreon channel. It's been going well over a year or so, packed with around about 50 or more videos and new ones every month. Lots of the videos are many hours long, so you can see they're really in-depth. Subjects such as turtles, birds, elephants, big cats, you name it, is on there. So that's my Patreon channel. And also on that Patreon channel, before I go on to something else, I've got a secret Facebook group. So only the members are actually on there. It's the most supportive and friendly Facebook group that I've ever seen. I know I'm biased, but it really is. We've got 400 or 500 members on there, and they all help each other. So that's a great added bonus. That comes free with it. Also, you get line art every month as well. And we've just designed a brand new companion website for it. So if you've joined other Patrons and channels and you found it very difficult to navigate around, we got this free website that comes with it. All the videos are now just a single click away. Couldn't be any easier than it is. I've also got my site, jasonmorgan.co.uk. Lots of tutorial videos, DVD discs and downloads on there. And if you're struggling for reference photos for your art projects, I've got some of those too. I've got 900 plus on my website, wildlifeart-online.com, and they will be copyright free for you, so you can paint and draw from them and sell your work with no copyright worries whatsoever. So hope you like those extra resources, and I'll see you all again real soon.